is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Brandon's Face, the podcast about a playlist. I'm one half of your hosting duo. My name is Jonathan Beardsley, and as always, I'm joined by the one and only Brandon May. Brandon, how you doing tonight?
John, I am basically amazing. How are you?
You're always so amazing, man. I need your skincare routine. I need your life routine. I need to know your secrets.
So,
man,
a lot of people have been asking me about my skincare routine, and let me tell you, it's nothing. I don't do anything.
You should put that on TikTok, man. You might get rich off that advice.
I will definitely not get rich off that advice.
All right, before we get into it, please like, follow, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. You have anything you want to talk about before we get into it?
No, I think I'm good. I think we're good.
All right, let's get right into this then. We have one you threw on here, a new one from Mogwai called Bolt 4. Talk to me about it.
This is classic Mogwai. I know you haven't liked a lot of their music that I've thrown on here as much as I have, at least. I'm very curious to know how you're feeling about this, because this is kind of right up my alley. Experimental. I know you're gonna love this. Post rock.
Just post music. I thought this was good. It's a little different than their last album that we reviewed, right?
Yeah, it's a little different. This is more of a return to form, more of their. They have an album called Rave Days, I think. It's Rave something that I really enjoyed, and it's kind of more like that. Rave Tapes, that's what it is.
Okay. Well, yeah, I knew you were a fan of theirs. I don't remember disliking their last album. I remember the Richie Sacramento track was pretty good, but you said that was much different stylistically than they usually do. So
this is more like what they do.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I thought this was good.
Cool, man. I'm glad you liked it.
All right, man. Here's an interesting one. We have another single from Odessa, Behind the Sun. This is a very epic song, and it has some cool elements, but I just do not like it. Do you?
You could have told me this was a Beats Antique track, and I would have been like, yeah, of course.
Why is everything so Beats Antique lately? Jesus Christ. I told you that you were the one that made me kind of a fan of Odessa, or made me pay attention to them. And I remember around the time that happened, it was when you were in Temecula, I think, when you showed me them. So that was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And I remember at the time going and listening to their albums, A Moment Apart, and what's the one
Return.
from Return.
It's In
In Return?
Yep.
Okay, and In Return. And I remember really liking them. And then as these came out, I remember liking the first single, and I've just had diminishing returns since. But I was like, did I misremember liking their early music? Like, is it different?
You did not.
No, I went and listened to it, and I was like, oh,
good.
yeah, no, there's a reason that they get 100 million plays on these songs. But this is not it. Like, I don't.
They're very good. In fact, I have an Odessa album up on our wall. Like, they're an incredible group. They've closed Coachella before. I mean, it's surprising that I haven't liked basically any of these singles.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we're hoping to like the deep cuts, or that the album just comes together when we hear it as a whole. But so far, not great. Not great.
If this track was not 4 minutes and 11 seconds, it was more of an interlude, like a 45-second interlude, I'd be like, oh yeah, this is a great transition into something a little bit more funky. But because it's 4 minutes, it makes me think that they're just doing a little bit of a stylistic departure. But my mind is still open for the album, and I still will always be a fan of Odessa, specifically of In Return and A Moment Apart. Those are beautiful, beautiful albums. I own hard copies
Fantastic.
of those albums, and we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, we'll keep an open mind for that one. I think I'm with you in the fact that I'm still excited to hear it in full. Just the singles have been an interesting bag so far. All right, let's move on to another one you threw on here from Ron Trent and Khruangbin called Flos Potentia, Sugar, Cotton, Tobacco. Did you enjoy this?
Look, man, I I know that you have not enjoyed a lot of the Khruangbin that I've thrown on here, but I feel like they make really interesting, really soulful music without trying too hard. I think it is very good music, but I don't think that it is exciting in any way. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. That might actually be a better way of saying how I feel about them than I could even articulate. I thought that this song was good. It's a jam. It's got a really nice groove to it. And I do remember liking the first single that they did with Leon Bridges. I just didn't think the EP as a whole really landed for me, but I'm not against Khruangbin. I think they're talented.
Yeah, I think they're probably about to like really blow up if that hasn't already happened.
I think they're doing pretty well if they're doing collabs with Leon
Oh wow,
Bridges
yeah, 5 million monthly listeners. They did a whole EP called Texas Sun with Leon Bridges, and they did an
and Moon.
album
Yeah.
called The Universe Smiles Upon You back in 2015, which is pretty good. They've put out some really interesting music, and I kind of have to respect how interesting and also good it is.
Yeah, I feel like they'd be great live. But like you said, they don't really do anything exciting, especially when you're going through a playlist of music with some more exciting music all around it.
Their music leaves so much to jam out to, like I feel
Hmm.
like they may even be like a jam band live.
Yeah, yeah, no, I think they might be, but I don't know. We'll definitely keep reviewing music as they release it. I thought this was probably the best song of theirs I've heard so far.
Nice.
All right, man. Let's move on to this new one from Biba Doobie called "See You Soon." She is so good, man. The song is great. I really like the drum machine on it. How'd you feel?
I like I like her upbeat music a little bit more than I like this stuff, but her voice sounds incredible on this song. And a super bummer that she couldn't make it to weekend two of Coachella. That's one thing that this year's weekend one had up on weekend two. Well,
As well
also
as
Arcade
Arcade
Fire.
Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jinx.
um, was there any reasoning behind that? I didn't hear about that.
I think she was sick. I think she tested
Ah,
COVID negative, but like was just not
not feeling
feeling
well.
well. And you can't force an artist to go perform.
Yeah, and the desert can be pretty grueling if you're not inside taking care of yourself. Not saying that's how she got sick, but it is very easy to not feel well or to overextend yourself in that sun and dust.
I don't know, man. I saw a bunch of people on that live stream weekend one not wearing masks, and like I've been wearing masks at Coachella for years. Like
Yeah.
you don't go to that festival without wearing a mask because the grass is gonna get in your lungs.
Yeah.
Like it's not. It wasn't
Yeah.
a COVID thing. It was a don't get the grass in your lungs thing.
Only take your mask off when you're doing your drugs or eating. That's the only time your mask should be off.
Correct. Correct.
All right, man. Let's move on to this new one from the Black Keys. It ain't over. Personally, I think this is one of the better Black Keys songs I've heard recently. It's got a lot of soul to it. The lyrics are catchy. The bass line is incredible. Do you think that this is headed towards like the Black Keys that you fell in love with as a band, or is this still new Black Keys era to you?
No, I love this. I thought that this was fucking awesome. Their last album
Good.
just threw me for a loop, man. I like this one. This is the second single out of these two singles. They're two for two right now, and I like it. So they're coming
Yeah, I
back.
agree. I liked it too, but I don't have like a giant knowledge of their discography, so I wasn't sure how it fit into the canon. But I'm glad to know that it is good from somebody that knows if their music is good or not at the moment.
I mean, I'm no authority, but I liked
No,
the
you
song.
are. You are. You are.
Well,
Check the
thanks,
album
bud.
credits. You're in there. All right, let's go on to this new one from Madia, Love You Back. Holy shit, man. So I fucking love this. I heard him play this at Coachella and could not wait to hear the studio version. It's everything I wanted from a new Madeon song. How are you feeling?
John, Madeon is one of those artists that when I look back on their discography, I realize just how mature the sound was, even though both me and Madeon weren't mature at that point. His music has aged like a fine wine, and his style is almost timeless. I don't like so much the vocal filters he uses at the beginning of this one, or maybe how much he uses it, but the song is great, and I'm sure his next releases will also be great.
Yeah, it's hard to tell if he's starting a new album rollout, but to me, this feels like an extension of the Good Faith era. Like, he released The Prince in 2020, which was a phenomenal song. But I think he even said this is a song that just didn't fit into Good Faith. This feels like one of those as well. And with the pandemic happening a little bit after that album's release, he never got to properly tour it. I think he played maybe 5 or 6 shows before everything went down. And now that we're getting to see him like fully commit to this era of his music, it's just fucking incredible. So I honestly hope that this isn't the beginning of a new era. I'm good with him just releasing like a song or two every year or two until he's ready to do a new album. Because I think he's such a good artist. And like you said, it was almost like you forget how much he puts into it. And then when you hear it and see how well it's aged and how young he was when he started, like the lead synth riff on this, when he's playing that, I still hear the fucking kid playing the Pop Culture Innovation Launchpad video.
Right?
Like I can still picture that in my head, and it's crazy how he's grown so much, but it's still the same. And it's still amazing because it was amazing then. Like it's fucking phenomenal, man. I love this song. Huge fan of Madeon. He's just a top tier artist in my opinion.
I just have to say how important it was that we got a him and Porter
Oh my
collaboration,
god,
and
dude.
how much these two dudes have matured both musically, and you can like feel their personal growth through their music. And if that isn't art, I don't know what is. You don't even have to like the music to recognize that level of growth through it. And I mean, I'm just fucking here for it, man.
Do you think Porter has pretty much said that it won't, but do you think we ever get like a K5 between them, like another song?
Another song, maybe. Another
He pretty much
project,
said that
maybe.
he said people would be surprised at how much their tastes don't overlap. He was like, I think if we were to keep working together too much, that would come into play. But he's also a person that's growing more and more, and he's clearly a huge fan of Madeon. He books him at every festival he plays.
Right.
Their albums go hand in hand together. Like
Right.
Nurture and Good Faith back to back is one hell of a Saturday, if you ask me. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't want it anytime soon, but I hope they do work together again, or at least do a Shelter 2 tour, because that was one of the biggest tours in EDM at the time, and I feel like I missed out on it, because
Yeah, I
looking
didn't
back,
see it either.
god damn it, I would have gone to that in a heartbeat.
It's funny, man. I've been at two festivals where Madeon was playing, and I think we chose other people instead of seeing him. So, um,
You know,
probably
it would
because
have
they were
been cool.
giants that we weren't ever going to see.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I
You
can
have to
see them doing another project together, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I could see them do. I don't, like you just said, I think you hit the nail on the head. I don't want it right now. Him and
Yeah,
Porter
no,
working
their
together is
sound
not right
hasn't
now.
grown since the last song that they did. This is still Shelter kicked off what we're still going through now, honestly. And when they finally come to like a we need to do something else, maybe they'll both be on that page together. But man, Shelter was a fucking moment in time the more you look back at it.
For sure. I think that if we give it 5 years, I think their tastes will finally align.
I hope so. Dude, fucking like Crunchyroll did the music video for that. Like that's a full anime mini movie pretty much. It's
Right.
crazy. All right, man, let's move on because you and I could talk about Porter and Madeon all day. So let's talk about this for a second
Another
because
band I could talk about all day.
no. We're going to talk about Arcade Fire. There's a song that got pulled by Powers Pleasant, Maxo Cream, and Baz that was on here called Overseas.
Yep.
And I don't, obviously you can't hear it because it got pulled. I heard this fucking song. I listened to it 2 or 3 times
It's
before it
good.
got pulled. And Maxo killed it. The
Oh,
hook
for
he
sure.
does on it was great. It had to have been sample clearance. Like, this is a
Yep, that had to have
real
been it.
song. It makes no sense why it got pulled. I'm a little bummed it did, but I don't know. I'm not going to keep my eyes out for it too much, but if you do see it pop back up, let me know because I thought this was good. I'm bummed that this happened.
Yeah, me too. I saw it pop up, and I listened to it, I think, on Thursday at 9 p.m. and I was like,
Yeah,
"What's up,
you added
Maxo?"
it then.
Like, "What's up, Maxo? You're doing it."
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, Maxo's doing the hook too. Like this is
Unfortunately,
good.
I only got to listen to it once.
Damn. I mean, we were there. All right. All right, let's
Remember
move on to
us.
this new Arcade Fire because I'm actually really excited to talk to you about this. It's called Unconditional One, Lookout Kid. I think due to the naming conventions, we can infer that the track listing is going to use these ones and twos as some sort of ordering or chaptering of the album.
Yeah.
But I think it should please you to hear that the two songs they released have been growing on me, and I
Hey.
enjoyed this song as well. I saw the video of them performing this at Coachella, and I thought it was a really good performance. There's not a lot they do musically that blows me away, but they're really good fucking songwriters and performers. I'll give you that.
Well, I'm glad to see you finally coming along. They did something like this on their 2000 and I think it was 2004. Yeah, 2004 album Funeral, where they had Neighborhood Number One, Neighborhood Number Two, Neighborhood Number Three, Neighborhood Number Four. So they kind of do that kind of progression in a little bit of their music. Look, man, I know this band is corny. Like everybody who listens to Arcade Fire understands that this band is corny as fuck. But you know what? I can't help but like it. It is anthemic indie music, and I'm glad that these songs are growing on you. I highly recommend that you go back and listen to The Suburbs, and even like Reflector or Neon Bible. But specifically The Suburbs and Funeral, because you'll hear a little bit of Win Butler's wordplay that he uses. He
Mhm.
hides a lot of the meaning in his songs behind clever, kind of witty wordplay. And while I love this song, Unconditional One, Lookout Kid, I do kind of miss the mystery behind his lyrics and trying to figure out what that shit means to me rather than him telling me what it's supposed to mean. I think that this song is catchy as fuck. I think that both hooks and instrumentals are going to fit into the whole album really well. Unfortunately, though, we got a track listing, and it's only
Oh, did
seven
we?
songs.
Yeesh. I mean,
Right?
that's not bad. Daytona was 7 songs.
Right, but well, hopefully one is like 12 minutes or something, you know?
This is
Like,
this is the era. This is the new era. And you and I are old heads, which I think will come into some of our reviews later, but I think that it's taking us time to get used to because even thinking about albums of the year, sometimes I'm like, this is 7 songs. Like, does it count? But it's like, do you enjoy that as much as you enjoy somebody else's full-length album? And that's really the only way to equate like what these projects are worth at this point.
I would much rather them put out an album of 7 songs over an album with 13 with, you know, 5 or 6 fillers.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
that
I'm all
that
for
I'll give
trimming the
them.
fat. Did you see he did a Zane Lowe interview and talked about his brother's departure?
No, I did not. I'm
Um,
going to throw that in
I
the
mean,
show notes.
yeah, yeah, throw it in the show notes. Just I'll briefly say that I think it wasn't anything bad. It was pretty much I think he just had some stuff outside of music that he wanted to do, and he was proud of his brother for wanting to go do other shit. So,
Yeah, super fair. I think Will was actually at the Coachella show, so I think that's the last time Will will probably be performing with the band unless there's some sort of reunion. But I mean, they
oh,
have
he
like,
performed at Coachella at that one.
I believe so.
That's cool. I mean, it seems like he didn't want this to get in the way of the rollout. Like they didn't announce it until 2 weeks after the first 2 songs came out. He clearly didn't want it to be the story over the music
Right.
because it 1000% would have been. It still is. It's like I do not keep up with Arcade Fire and I read a lot of like mainstream music and movie sites that don't really cover a lot of bands and Arcade Fire's name since returning has constantly been in the headlines.
Well, yeah, man, they're huge.
Um
I will
well,
say that they did. They also did play this song at Coachella. This was the new song that they played, and you know, they kind of got the crowd into doing those do do's, and
mhm.
yeah, man, I thought it was really great. I thought it was really great. Me and my
The
wife watched it.
official the official Coachella YouTube page uploaded that like individual
Oh,
performance of that
nice.
song. So if
Nice.
you can throw that in the show notes too, if you feel so inclined.
I will go ahead and throw that in the show notes, but to anybody listening who wants the whole performance, hit me up.
Hit Brandon up. All right, man. You ready to move on?
I am.
Okay, we got a new one from Sampa the Great that I threw on here called Lane featuring Denzel Curry. And I'll be straight up with you, man. I do not know much about this girl. Her voice is really unique. I don't know if it's my thing or not, but I added it mostly because it's a Denzel feature. It's a brief but good guest verse. Nothing crazy. How'd you feel?
I'm laughing because my notes literally say, I don't know if I like Sampa's voice, but Denzel's verse is fucking fire.
Hey, man, we're always on the same page. I love
Not
it.
always, but when we are on the same page, I think that's when it counts.
Yeah, exact. Well said. Well said. All right, let's move on. We got more Denzel to cover soon. We got a new one from Fur Coat and Alfa Romero called Days Away. I thought this was a really good track. Very simple. The keys were a nice touch. I think that you've thrown some Fur Coat on here before, correct?
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling about this track?
I think that Fur Coat does a really good job at making really plain production sound interesting. I also think that I've never heard of Alfa Romero, but I think it's a great play on words.
Yes. You and I big car people, so yes. I still see those up here. I like when we were car shopping a month or so ago, I was like, maybe.
They're becoming a little bit more popular. I think there's an Alfa Romeo dealership out here now.
Bro, I was like,
I think they're
should I get a
connected to
Saab?
I think they're connected to the Fiat dealership. Is what I was just gonna say. God damn Italians.
All right, man. Let's move on to this new one from Def Radio called Supersonic. Leave it to you to find some alternative rock with super heavy riffs from Athens, Greece, Brandon. Leave it to you.
I
Tell me about this.
have no clue how I stumbled upon this band. Probably some sort of Spotify rabbit hole. But I like this sound. In fact, his voice reminds me a little bit of like old Davey Havoc, may I say?
It reminded me of Nothing But Thieves, but I feel like everything's been reminding me of Nothing But Thieves lately.
I thought that this was good, man. Came across this band. They happened to have released a new single. I listened to it. I liked it. I threw it on. That's the story.
Such is life. That's the Brandon's Face way. I thought it was good too. I don't really have anything to add, but good band, good song.
Cool, man.
All right, we got a new one finally from Khalid Skyline. They're really playing to us car fans, aren't they?
Right? The album art on here is an R34.
Yep. Fucking A, man. Or a GTR in America. This song is a fucking jam, man. He's on autopilot now. Like he figured out the perfect formula for a pop R&B hit, and he just keeps using it to perfection every time. Like, what? Don't fix what's not broken. I know you couldn't have disliked this song, right?
I didn't like the intro, but everything else I liked.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I was gonna say the hook almost feels like genetically engineered to be so catchy that you can't not listen to it or hum along to it.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah, and it is a Wednesday night right now, but he's not pulling us into a skyline, so I'm a little disappointed.
Are we anticipating a new album from him? Is this the start of an album rollout, or is this just a
I
one-off thing?
think so. So he kind of does these weird things. Like he did that EP last year, and he did an EP in between his last two albums, but he's released a few singles since 2020 that I imagine could be a part of it, could not. Like his albums kind of just come together when they do. I do think we're going to get a new album of his this year, though, yes.
Nice.
He's too big of a pop artist to go dormant for more than 3 years.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, man. We got a new one from Giveon called Lie Again.
It's R&B heaven for you this week.
I'm telling you, man, and I'm fucking very, very happy about that. Did you like this?
This song is really good, but it's really not my jam.
I felt like that was going to be the case. Like his voice is undeniably incredible just in the way that
Undeniably,
it
absolutely
sounds.
amazing.
Yeah, but that's like literally just the way it sounds. Like he can sing anything and it's going to sound good. It comes down to if you like the song. I personally think he's getting better with every release. I was surprised at how big the crowd was he drew at Coachella and how well he's just kind of handling skyrocketing popularity with a lot of confidence and poise. He's on tour right now, and I think Complex went there and did an interview with him at like his fourth or fifth show. And they're asking him like how he's liking the tour, and he's like, I'm literally still figuring out how to do this. Like he was like the first night, like I was like, oh, this is why you want to like figure out what lights go with what songs. And so he's like, so the second night, like I had the lights a little more tailored. And then he was like, but I finished like early. So I was like, next night I need to add like 2 to 3 more songs and I need to do crowd engagement. And so he's like at the fourth or fifth show, he's like, it should start to be the same show eventually, but like I think people just need to realize how new he still is at this. Like, I'm pretty sure the dude was homeless like 3, 4 years ago.
Damn.
And he's now sipping white wine on the main stage of Coachella at sunset. Like, it's fucking crazy. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, man, that's really neat. Yeah, his voice is undeniably incredible, and I think he's using it in the right areas.
I agree, man. I think I felt like this song was going to be a little off kilter for you, but I do think you'll like an album from him.
I think I will too.
All right, man. Let's move on to this new one from Aluna and Jada G called Mine Oh Mine. You loving this?
Jada G does it again, bro. This track is fucking awesome.
Every time.
In fact, I don't know who Aluna is, and really no
You
offense.
do know who Aluna is.
I do?
You know who Aluna is very well. She changed her name from Aluna George, but she does vocals
Oh shit,
on
this is
Settle.
Aluna George?
She's done Automatic with Zoo. Yeah, she just shortened it to
Wow.
Aluna a few years
All
ago.
right. Well, I might like this song a little bit more without the vocals. No offense, Aluna
Her voice
George.
is very high. So, I mean, it is what it is. It comes down to if you like the music behind it as much or if it pairs as well. I think she was on White Noise. Is that the song on Settle she does?
Yep, it sure is. And you know what? It's funny because when I kept listening to this song, I kept kind of like really just hyper focusing on the instrumentals, and maybe a different Jada G collab is in order because Jada G just super killed it on this beat. So
Jada G really doesn't need vocals on her songs.
she doesn't.
Honestly, like if I went to see her live, I would just want her beats. Like she's averaging only one song a year right now, but her last 3 songs, like all of the instrumentals are perfect. No notes.
Right. Yeah, there's no notes to give. It's
God,
funny.
it sucks.
There was I'm on the Coachella subreddit, and
Yes.
a lot of people were talking about getting into the Yuma, as is tradition, and the Yuma tent has progressed from this tiny little dome to this giant ass tent, and artists such as Purple Disco Machine and Fatboy Slim and Richie Houghton, obviously, and Dixon, obviously, you're gonna have to wait in line to get into that tent for, security reasons, because it's a closed off tent, right? It's security, it's fire code and shit like that. A lot of people didn't realize that they were going to have to sit in line for both Peggy Goo and Jada G. And apparently Jada G was a large line, even like really early in the day at like 4 p.m. or something like that. So I think I think if anything shows how good she really is, I mean, just count the people in line at the Yuma tent, and that's I mean, the people that go to Coachella and the people that care about house music at that festival, waiting in line to go see you, to me,
At
that's
4
a
p.m.
huge compliment.
The people at
Huge
Coachella
compliment.
at 4 p.m. are there for the music, not there
Right.
to show up and just like ride the night wave, Like
I mean,
there's many different types of people, but
I would try to get there at gates open, but that's just me.
oh dude, I mean I've camped, so I've been forced to be there at gates open multiple days.
That's the time to go, homie.
Oh, it's fun, man. You get to like walk around, you can eat whatever you want.
You get to actually
it's a good
see
time.
the art and shit,
Did-
That's how I
did
saw
she
LA
not-
Riots for the first time.
Didn't she play the thing at the airfield with Channel Tress as well?
She did.
God, I would have probably just gone to that, honestly. I think it was
Honestly,
overpriced from what you told me, but
it was
that
overpriced. I think it was like $120 per day or something, and well, that's fine for people that can afford that. And it honestly, the real main thing, we were kind of in the middle of a COVID surge in this county, and I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna.
120 is crazy, but if it was Channel Tress and Jada back to back, I would be like, and I was like right there, I'd be like, oh, God, I'm
It
probably
was
gonna
it,
do
it
this.
was honestly a great lineup because if I remember, and somebody correct me, maybe I'll correct myself here, but it was Jada, Channel Trace, and Martinez Bros that day, and I was
Oh,
like,
fuck.
that's a lineup.
And there's
Like,
so much room there. Like, you're not gonna feel crowded in that area.
yeah, man, the Air Museum is dope.
Yeah. Is what it is, man. We'll catch Jada G one day.
Promise.
All right, man. We got a new one from Metric called All Comes Crashing. Are you a Metric fan?
Did you add this or did I add this?
I added this.
All right. I am not a huge Metric fan, but my brother in law, shout out to Logan, recently, and I say recently in the past year or so, told me, because I had never heard of Metric until 2021. He told me, he was like, bro, you've never heard of
Wow.
Metric? And I was like, let me see. He was like, you need to listen. I think he gave me an album to listen to, and I went through and I kind of went through their discography a little bit, and I really liked it. I really liked this, and I think that this is a little bit more electronic sounding than their other work, but I kind of think it really works for their sound, and I'm kind of excited to see if like maybe the rest of the album is like this. What do you think?
Oh my God. Okay. So, holy shit. This is like the Arcade Fire moment a few weeks ago for you. It's like I'm so thrown off right now. This is one of my wife's favorite bands. I've listened to almost all of their stuff. Their 2012 album Synthetica is probably like the one I think of first. Their 2015 album Pagans in Vegas was good. Art of Doubt from 2018 was good. Uh, Dude, they are phenomenal. But you've actually heard her voice in other things because Emily Haynes does the vocals on one of the songs on Kaleidoscope with Tiesto. I think she does Knock You Out.
Oh, awesome.
The song from Scott Pilgrim, Black Sheep, even though I think Brie Larson does the vocals in the movie version, that's a Metric song as well.
Neat.
Uh, yeah, they're a very good electronic infused rock band. I think you would really enjoy digging into their discography, honestly. Like they seem right up your alley. I hope this also is leading towards something. But if and when we hang out again, whenever that may be, and we're in my place, you will I have plenty of Metric to let you listen to, my friend.
Nice, nice.
We have
Yeah,
cassette tapes
I
and shit.
have. I haven't. I have dived in like a little bit, but I've been a lot. I've been very, very busy on the music listening end that I haven't really had a mega chance to dive in. And in fact, I think I have one of their albums on my listen to next. Have you gotten any of my packages that I sent you yet, John?
No, I actually went and checked the mail yesterday and it was
Got
not
it.
in there.
They
So I
said
will go check again
expected
today.
by Friday, so we'll talk about
Okay.
what I sent you next week.
For sure, man. Can't wait.
But this is cool. I hope that this is a start. This is the start of an album. But I
I
will
would
tell
say
you
this
this:
is very indicative of what they sound like.
I think this song could have been written for a video game too. It sounds very because again, I have listened to. Let me go check now. What was the album I listened to? Because I listened to a full album, thinking because my brother-in-law told me I was he reacted exactly the same as you have. Like, why haven't? What are you
Yeah.
talking about? I think it was Fantasies that I went back and listened to their
Oh, that's a great
2009
one too.
album,
Yeah.
which I really enjoyed. But this seems a little bit more electronic than their other music, and it seems like almost like a racing game
Please throw
album.
Synthetica on your listen to next. Please throw that album
Synthetica will do,
from
sir.
2012. You don't have to do the deluxe, but just throw that album on. That's a phenomenal one. That one, oh man. I know it'll make you more of a fan. I can't wait for you to hear it one day whenever you get through your fucking sea of listen to next. How many hours is that
I
playlist at
have
right
been
now?
getting through it. Okay, let me throw this
Okay.
on here, and then I'll show you. I'll tell you how many hours it is. You know, it's funny. I was just talking to a I connect with people as much as I possibly can about music, and I had somebody call me about work, and he happened to come inspect one of our facilities, and we got to talking about music and stuff, and he opened my eyes a little bit to doom metal, and I
Well,
think I
we've
mentioned
reviewed a
that.
little doom metal, Brandon.
I think we talked about that a little bit when we reviewed that Ahab album.
Yeah.
Right now, it's at after the Metric album, 100 hours and 36 minutes. So I'm getting through it.
God.
I'm getting through it.
Go on a road trip. Jesus Christ.
But it's funny. He called me the other day, and we were chatting about it, and I love that shit, man. Music brings people together. I don't care what anybody says.
It does. It does. Because we are a couple thousand miles apart, but I feel right next to you right now.
Every
All right,
week.
man. You ready to move on?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. We got two new songs from IDK, Dog Food and Taco. I love those names. Do you know who IDK is?
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you. Did you listen to his album last year?
Yes, Use for Yourself, which we didn't talk about, but I
It
do.
came out on the same day as Baby Keem's album, if I remember correctly.
That's right. That's right.
And Baby Keem definitely overshadowed this album. I didn't think it was bad, but I didn't. It didn't
No, I
like.
went back and listened to it today, actually. I listened to this album today and his 2019 album, Is He Real? And as full albums go, I'm still kind of assessing how I feel about them, but the dude can make a banger. These two songs are a little different. This EP or this project is going to be called Simple, and it's entirely produced by Kate Tronada,
Hell
who
yeah.
usually has that more shuffly style.
Yep.
So, not really sure what it'll sound like as a whole, but I really like these two songs. The horns on Dog Food are really good, and Denzel kills his verse.
At this point, I don't know why anybody would want to want Denzel Curry on their track, or B, pay him to take over the entire ass spotlight from them. But to each their own, I guess.
Yeah, listening to those two albums, this isn't the type of track IDK would like outshine him on. This is very much a track Denzel Curry can eat up, but I think
Right.
it's cool when artists recognize that even though they have the beat, another artist is going to do really good on this too, and I
Right.
like the collaboration.
Yeah, I thought that both of these songs were pretty good, man. I like Taco. I like Taco a lot, actually. He's got a very interesting energy to him on this track, and the beat is jazzy as fuck. And I'm glad that you told me it was Kate Renata. I'm not like a huge Kate Renata fan, but it kind of like makes a little bit more sense now. Um,
Yeah, his albums are interesting to revisit. I think they're ones that you don't realize how good he is.
for sure, maybe I'll go. Maybe I'll go revisit them.
You definitely should, man. You definitely should. But we will review this EP in full when it drops for sure.
Cool, man.
All right, you ready to move on to this new one from Drezzo?
You know I am.
All right, man. He dropped a new one called Prisoner. Hard as fuck. Uh, I don't know if this is deep house. I actually Googled this. I don't know. I went into the Reddit. People are saying this is G house.
The fuck is G House? This is Post House, John. Just call it Post House.
Oh man, this is a banger. Hard not to like it.
I discovered Drezzo on a Dark Dance Floors playlist that I stumbled upon through. I don't know. I go on fucking rabbit holes sometimes, and I just like don't stop until I find somebody that I'm like, whoa, And
Hmm.
this was one of those. This was one of those artists where I was like, oh shit, this guy gets it. And
Yep.
yeah, he's got this down. Whatever it is, if it's G House or whatever the fuck they want to call it,
Bass
it is
house. I don't know.
bass house bass. It's all house. Fuck genres.
Fuck genres. It's all house.
Fuck genres. It's all house. Yeah, this is it, man. This is that shit. So
Agreed. Agreed. I always like these ones where you throw them on and they're just some raw, hard ass fuck EDM.
right, like
All right. Speaking of some super raw EDM, we got another alternative mix from the Chemical Brothers for It Doesn't Matter.
You are
So,
underselling this, John. We now have an 11-minute version of It Doesn't Matter.
okay,
I've
maybe I
gone to
should have let
heaven.
you set this one up. There's nothing to review. You already know I love this. I already know you love this.
Right.
Here's my question for you, Brandon. If you had a time machine and could go back in time and see any dance music set from the 90s, are you going Chemical Bros or Daft Punk?
Chemical Brothers.
I love how fast you answered that shit.
Here's the deal. Daft Punk's shows are incredible, right? But I have a recording of Alive 1997.
But to be at Alive 97.
Nope. Chemical Brothers win still.
Okay, man, I respect it.
I think it's because they just fucking speak to me, bro. Listen to this song. The reason you asked the question about whether or not I'd want to go to a live show is because you know that they played this live a number of times in the late 90s. Like, you know that they played this entire 11-ass minute song live in the 90s. And I cannot, whoever.
I want to find a 90s like web column community where somebody's like ID.
Right? Yeah, man. I think this is the show to go to, man. And while I think Daft Punk are legends, I think they're icons. I think
it's a hard question for a reason.
It wasn't hard for me. I don't know.
It wasn't hard for you, but you still have to
choose?
Justify your answer.
You're right. What would you choose? Would it be Daft Punk or Chemical Brothers?
Daft Punk. For me, it would be Daft Punk. But honestly, more than both of those, I regret not going to one of the original Cross shows from Justice. The Across the Universe tour, that set list, the fucking Metallica NY Excuse mashup, I would have lost my shit.
I was lucky enough to see Justice on their audio video disco tour. And yeah, man, I actually think that was really cool because they got to kind of filter all those guitars into this fucking French house shit. It's funny, man. You think of the greats, and it's Chemical Brothers, Daft Punk, Justice, and it doesn't matter what order you put them in. It's them, and it is. I don't know, man. I think, and in fact, I actually just got Audio Video Disco in. I just purchased that album.
It's an incredible fucking album.
Their
discography's flawless so far.
I now have their full discography on the vinyl. So
that's incredible. You got to do just a row of that on your wall.
Yeah, man. I think we should. My wife designs the vinyl wall because, aesthetics.
As she should.
And
yes.
Boys are bad at that. So
we're very bad at that.
Look, man, I think what I really like about this specific track, well, number one, it was released on my wife's birthday in 1996. But number two, you can really hear some of their production style come out. And I said that about Electrobank when they released their raw demo version of that. But you can really hear it on this one. You can really see if you listen to this and then the mixed and mastered version from the original album right afterwards, you can hear what stuck, right? What sticks after the mixing and the mastering, and you can tell that like they produced a lot more in between what ended up being on the album, which is cool, man. They were just kind of seeing what fits, and man, I think that if I were, I mean, I was alive in the 90s, but if I were of age and into this music, it would have had to have been a Chemical Brothers show, man.
I'm glad that the question got you going, man. That's all I wanted it to do. I think it's a fun topic. I love hypotheticals like that. You know me.
I think you knew it was going to get me going.
Oh, I knew. All right, man. Let's move on to this new one from fucking Spore, Throw Down, Let Go. His second release on Mousetrap. I'm telling you, man, female trance vocals over drum and bass is beautiful. Like, there's just something about it.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing the other two songs from this EP. This is great.
Yeah, this song fucking rips, man. So,
yeah, fucking love it. I still don't know if we have a date for that. I don't think he's announced it yet. But
yeah, he hasn't announced a date. But if you said there's 6 songs. If there's 6 songs, he's released 2 of them.
I think it's 4 songs.
If there's 4, we're a few weeks out for sure.
Gotcha. All right, we got a new one from Sam Smith. Love Me More. Are you a Sam Smith fan beyond Latch?
I'm not a Sam Smith fan.
Okay. Have you ever listened to any of his solo albums?
No, but I have a feeling we're about to.
Yeah, I hope so. He released one in 2020, so I don't know if he's due already. Maybe this is clearly a new single. He didn't say that it's anything more than that as of yet. But this is kind of what he's known for, this pop R&B gospel infused sound, very unique, very tailored to his voice. His whole sound took a long time to click for me, and I'm glad it finally did because I really enjoy his music, and like the vocal runs he does over the end of this song feel, I don't know, very Michael Jackson, Mika-ish. Like they come from a different creative place than we usually hear. I personally enjoyed this. I'm interested to know if you enjoyed this.
So, I think his voice is fucking great. I think that Sam Smith is very good at carrying like one specific melody, like the one in the intro. I think it's like
Hmm.
the one melody that he does and like he's maybe known for. I don't know. It just sounded so familiar. His voice is fucking great, and I'm open to hearing some more music. So,
So I've had this analogy came to me a few years ago, not lyrically, but in terms of just emotional and vocal prowess. He has to be the male Adele. Like
I can see that.
nobody's gonna
I
get
can
some
see that.
guys all emotional like him. All right, man. I really love his music. I hope this is fucking leading to an album. You know, I'll keep you updated if it is.
Yeah, we'll see.
You threw this next one on here. Jay Wara and Little Boots, Burn This House. Did you add this because of Jay Wara or because of Little Boots?
Because of Jay Wara.
I'm a huge Little Boots fan. so,
Oh, hello.
so, all right, you go first, please. Tell me about the Jay Wara side of this.
So I do this thing. Back in 2014, I discovered a festival lineup, and one of the sub headliners happened to be a group that everybody universally loves nowadays called Refuse du Sol. And I decided that, wow, this is a great way to find music. Look up some festivals that you think you would maybe want to go to, that maybe somebody you know is playing, and then go look up the undercard, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I found that's how I found Jay Wara, and I think they happened to release a new album, and yeah, man, this is a great house track.
So pretty much the whole time you were hearing this, you were like, "Oh, that's a vocalist." Like you weren't like, "Oh, that's Little Boots" ever.
I have no idea who Little Boots is.
Okay, so I used to listen to her a lot, but I haven't heard her voice in almost 10 years. So my fucking ears perked up immediately when this song started.
Awesome.
My wife and I played her first two albums into the fucking ground, but kind of fell off after her 2013 album Nocturnes. I remember hearing she was going in more of an EDM direction and doing some DJ sets. She definitely did go in that direction, although this isn't really too different from something you would have heard on a solo track of hers. I thought this was a really good song. Doesn't reinvent any wheels, but it's good. But I think it's interesting you've never heard of her. She's a really good pop artist. I think it's cool she's getting some work in this. But her 2018 album Hands and her 2013 album Nocturnes, I would put in like that Ellie Goulding Lights like level
That's
of good
awesome.
pop from that era.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man, that's fucking cool. I'm glad you finally got to hear her.
Yeah, what an interesting little what an interesting little track.
Yeah, man. It was so funny because I think like when I was listening to it, taking my notes, my wife was like, "Is that Little Boots?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Does Brandon know who Little Boots is?" And I was like, "I'll let you hear the episode next Wednesday night." All right, so let's get into this. We have a new remix from Portugal the Man for What Me Worry. Dude, the fucking music world is moving so fast that I completely forgot we got a new Portugal the Man song earlier this year.
Right?
I thought this remix was fucking fantastic and definitely up there in terms of remixes of the year so far. How did you feel?
I really, really liked this track.
Yeah, I text you immediately when I heard it,
Right.
and I was like, dude, this remix.
I don't know who LP Gibby is, Giobi,
Joby?
but man, they really knocked this out of the park.
Yeah, I have no idea, but fucking killed it. Do we know if we're getting a new Portugal the Man album this year?
I'm not sure if it's this year, but I'm pretty sure it's impending.
All right, we'll keep an eye out. We got another one you threw on here. Plastic Ruby, Better Vibes. I know you're a big Plastic Ruby fan. Did you enjoy this?
This song is catchy as fuck. It's a little raw on the mix, but that might be on purpose because it works really well with everything with this song. I love basically everything they put out. They need to be famous already. They're criminally underrated.
I agree 1,000%, man. This is a great song. It's got some nice riffy indie rock that you can just throw on any time of day. It's good shit.
Yeah, it's really good stuff.
Okay, buddy. We have a new single from T-Pain called That's Just Tips.
We sure do.
Full Send Brother has to be one of the best ad libs to start a song ever. This is a banger and will be on repeat for me
Yeah,
all
this
year.
absolutely banks, bro.
So a lot of people are like, "Oh, we didn't realize he was so good of a singer all these years with the auto tune." I don't realize how people didn't realize he was a good rapper either, because he did
Right.
quite a bit of that on his albums. This is no surprise to me. I've heard him flow like this a million times, but I'm glad that a new generation of people are like, "Oh shit."
What's up, T-Pain?
Yeah, this fucking song is phenomenal. I
Yeah, it's
love it.
great.
Okay, we have one you added, a new one from Tegan and Sarah, Fucking Up What Matters. Before you get into your review, do you remember when like all girls in the scene had the Tegan and Sarah haircut?
Yep, sure do.
It was great. It was
Sure do.
Man, what a time. All right, tell me what you thought of this.
Should we be censoring Fucking Up What Matters? Because they censored it on Spotify. I don't know.
I think their labels censored it. I don't know.
I don't know why artists would say the word but then censor the song title. I don't know. Just like write it. You're not going to get in trouble, Tegan and Sarah.
Yeah, Future has a song called Foreign Nut on his album.
We're going to
Put
get into
Fucking
that
Up
song
What Matters.
specifically in just a second. But
Okay.
on Tegan and Sarah, I liked it. It's poppy. It's fun. My wife and I saw Tegan and Sarah, and unfortunately, it was not a great show. I think they might have been fighting beforehand.
When was this?
I want to say 2016, 2017, something like that. It was, I think, our anniversary weekend, and we decided to. I bought my wife some tickets to go see Tegan and Sarah. We bought a hotel and everything, and the show was okay. It just wasn't. It wasn't amazing,
Yeah,
but it was
it
just kind of like,
happens.
I don't know. They're sisters, so I'm assuming they fight all the time, like siblings do.
I mean, I'm sure they do, like anyone does.
Right.
I thought this was good, man. I saw Tegan and Sarah like around the time the Con came out in Chico,
Oh, cool.
and they put on a good show back then, but that was a long time before the one you went to, so I can't really vouch for that. I thought that So Jealous and The Con were both great albums, but I kind of fell off listening to them afterwards. It doesn't really sound like they missed a beat. They still
No, I
make
like them.
weird ass indie pop that somehow works.
Love that. Love that description.
All right, man. You want to talk about this EP from Russ?
Let's fucking talk about it, bro.
If not now, when? So, to give you some context, he just went on tour or started a tour, and I think this is just an EP of songs that he wanted to get out before going on tour, since I'm sure his usual stream of singles will slow up while he's on the road performing.
Right.
I thought this was good. Most of the songs feel like throwaways, but I found myself going back to the Back from London freestyle quite a few times. It's got some good bars.
I'm gonna disagree with you, bro. I think that he went a little deeper on these songs than he does normally on his other tracks. The subtle beats on Waves and Back from London freestyle are really, really good. I think they work really well for his flow and his style, and kind of let him shine instead of letting the beat do all the work. I don't know, man. I really liked this EP. Kind of wish we had some more material so we could have called it an album.
I'm glad you liked it. I'm not talking about the depth, like in terms of, I feel like these are better songs than the singles he typically puts out, but it feels a little incomplete to me.
Yeah.
We'll see though. The dude has crazy high output. He posted some videos. I think his first show was like a sold out one in Seattle, and it looked bananas, dude. The guy, One of the lyrics in Back from London Freestyle is actually, how come the streams don't ever match the venue? Which
Yep.
I fucking love that line because he's one of the few that can say it. He's one of the biggest independent artists in the world. He owns his own masters. He books his own tours. He does all of his own shit, like he can say this shit, and he's got songs that have 10 million plus plays, and a lot of people are probably like, who's Russ? He's nobody. But then you see his shows and you're like,
Right.
oh no, that many people really do like this guy.
Right.
But then you see other people on, you know with the mythical Spotify machine that has been talked about, that boosts plays, and they're
Doesn't
playing
exist.
fucking bar shows. No,
Doesn't
it doesn't.
exist.
There's computers that can play shit on repeat, but there's no bot for it that I know of.
I was more being sarcastic. I'm pretty sure something exists, but
I
we'll
don't.
see.
I honestly think it's just, yeah. Like there's got to be ways to cheat the numbers. I don't know the specific software involved, but I do think that even though this is like just a random EP that'll probably be blown by most people, you're right. He does go a little deeper with this one. He went Von deeper with it, Brandon. All right, you ready to move on to albums, buddy?
Yeah, I think I am.
You sure?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, man, let's go into it. We got a new one from Kehlani finally called Blue Water Road. I will go first on this one.
Do it.
You already know I like this. She's one of my favorite voices in R&B and is incapable of making a bad album to me. I was a little worried that this album would mostly be about motherhood since it's her first since having a child, but that only seems to have matured her sound a bit more than change her lyrical content. This isn't my favorite album of hers, but I think it'll fit nicely into her discography. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. And surprisingly, the Justin Bieber featuring Up at Night, I think, is the best song. But for the deep R&B head in me, Any Given Sunday and Get Me Started are both fan-fucking-tastic songs. How did you feel about this?
So look, man, you know that R&B is not my main thing. It's almost always eluded some of my tastes.
Mhm.
A lot of this album is a bit too slow for my taste. I really did like Up at Night with Justice Bieber. Some things I did really like are her voice. I really liked it's just straight up enchanting at moments, man. She has a very sought after tone that I could probably describe better if I knew actual things about music. I really like the beats, although again they're a little bit too slow for me. I don't know, man. There's some really cool synthy moments, some really fantastic piano moments. Their percussion and the drums were done really well. Get Me Started featuring Sid comes to mind with those drums.
Yeah.
I think the bass is really tastefully curated throughout the whole project, and the strings on the Everything interlude
Yeah.
are just absolutely beautiful.
Beautiful strings.
I really like a couple of songs more than I should. At this point, the kind of the second half of the album is way more my speed. Alter is
Interesting.
incredible. Really shows off her vocal chops. Overall, it's a good album objectively, even if it's not my actual taste. I gave it a 7, and my standout is Alter.
Super fair, man. Way higher than I thought you were going to go with it, but
I can't objectively rate an album based on my tastes because I don't know, man. I did think it was good music.
yeah, I mean, I've had to do the same with albums that I feel the exact same way you just articulated, and that's just what it is at the end of the day. I think that's a win for her that she was able to get a 7 out of somebody that doesn't really like R&B. So, fuck it, that's cool.
Neat.
All right, man. Oh, geez. Okay, so we got a new one from Let's Eat Grandma, singular, called Two Ribbons.
We can't eat more than one grandma.
You cannot eat. I think their Instagram handle is called Leg of Grandma or something like that. Oh God, I'm sure it's just like an abbreviation, but throwing the leg and grandma in there and thinking of like let's eat the leg, it's just very vivid to me. Do you want to go first on this one?
Sure, man. Where do we put this? Is this pop?
Yeah,
I think so.
I think so.
So those synths on Happy New Year are just so good. This style of synth pop is great, and I really kind of like that they don't just stick to that sound because it can get really repetitive, like what Churches does.
Hmm.
Insect Loops, Two Ribbons, Happy New Year are all really great songs. For some reason, though, the project as a whole didn't really captivate me as much as I thought it was going to and be kind of wanted it to. It's either way too synth poppy or way too slow for me. I don't know. They never really found like a good middle ground. I don't know really how to describe
I
it. I think
agree.
The Cemetery is a great interlude. I gave it a 6, and my standout is Happy New Year.
Man, I 1000% agree with everything you said. Like
Really?
I wanted to like this album so much more than I did. The first song of theirs I heard was Happy New Year, and it really impressed me, but every song I've heard since has just kind of underwhelmed me a little bit, even when they're good. I think that they have a sound a lot of people will connect with. I just don't think I'm one of them, at least with this album. The past 2 years have really made me realize what my taste in pop is and isn't. And I wouldn't say anything on this album is bad. It's just right down the middle for me. It's fine, but it doesn't really get a reaction out of me in a positive or a negative way. I thought it was okay. I gave it a 5 out of 10, and Happy New Year was also my favorite.
I'm kind of glad you didn't like it as much as I didn't like it because I thought that you were going to be gung ho about this project.
I started adding the singles in January because we I was surprised at how much synth pop I liked last year. And I really liked Happy New Year as a single. I was like, oh, if this is indicative of the album, then I think I'll like it. But I don't know, it just didn't land for me.
I
But
think it
again, wouldn't say it's bad.
Here's the deal, though, man. I think that if we had had how many songs is this album? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Like
10,
nine or 10.
10. 10 songs. If we had had 10 songs with the same Happy New Year kind of synth poppy shit, I think I would have gotten bored and rated it the same anyways.
Yes.
I
Yep.
think they need to find a middle ground between Happy New Year and Two Ribbons and Strange
Levitation.
Conversations.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
need to find a happy medium in between there, and they can't be both things. I don't know. Just
Well
kind of
said, man. Well
I don't know.
said.
I don't think it was well said, but I appreciate you telling me it was.
It was, Brandon. All right, man. Let's fucking move on to this Royksopp album, Profound Mysteries.
Oh my god, John.
Talk about living up to the fucking hype.
Oh my
This album
god.
was everything I was hoping for and then some. Instant classic for me, up there with Nurture in terms of my favorite electronic albums of the decade so far.
Incredible.
This is a masterclass in so many things: production, songwriting, album building, emotional highs and lows. This is excellent, man. Like, I'm a little bummed we got so many of these songs as singles, but at the same time, I kind of get them wanting you to focus on each song as its own work of art, even though there's an overarching theme to the album. And I know we still have new albums from Alice in Wonderland, Flume, and Odessa on the way, but good fucking luck topping this one this year.
Right? Like,
Easy 9 or 10, and Impossible is my favorite.
okay, so let me give you a little bit of Brandon history.
Please.
Royksopp is one of the first electronic artists I ever heard, or at least actually really ever paid attention to. Shout out to Jason. His mix CD he kept in the car. He was my boy's uncle and would pick us up when we were kids at the Taco Bell. And when he got off work, and he had a mix CD that had Justice and the Chemical Brothers and Royksopp, and we would just jam all the way back to the house. And yeah, man, I think that. I think that this album is incredible. One thing I didn't like the way they chose where the tracks go. Let me let me extrapolate here.
Please.
I wish that the final track selection for this album was different. They have songs like Press R, The Morning Sun, and Nothing But Ashes, and they could kind of lean on to build the album up a little bit more from something softer to something where it gets into kind of like Impossible and This Time, This Place.
Sure. Yeah.
Literally, other than that, you are absolutely correct. This entire album is a masterclass on how to blend techno and house and ambient and whatever the fuck else they wanted to. They have some incredible textures. They have great fucking bass lines. They have fantastic percussion control. And if anybody has ever messed with any sort of electronic drum machine at any point, you have to control the percussion really well, and I think that they did it very, very, very well. The texture that they play with on like this time, this place, and how the flowers grow and they're beyond the trees are things that like a lot of modern producers could take notes from. Like this is absolutely what you said. It is a modern classic. Easy 9 out of 10 for me. It would have been a 10 out of 10 with not for the track placement. I do think that that last track, what is it? It's Press R. I think it sounds like an intro to another record. Am I tripping, or is that?
I mean, I think in the way that it's like a short song to end it, it could feel like the tease to what's next, but I don't know. I think that this is a pretty self-contained story, but I agree with you now that you pointed it out that the track listing could have been rearranged in maybe a way that would have been more steady listening experience.
And look, man, I'm not an electronic music producer, so they can do whatever the fuck they want as legends as of right now. But my standout was This Time, This Place. I fucking loved this album. This is absolutely incredible.
Dude, and they took some chances. If You Want Me was way different than I was anticipating. That's like
different.
That's like an EDM version of fucking Sally's song from from Nightmare Before Christmas. Like it's haunting, but it's beautiful. It's hard not to love.
Yeah, man.
All right, man.
I really enjoyed this.
You ready for the main event?
Royksopp was the main event this month. This GQ ass motherfucker is not the main event this month.
So we threw on a new album from Future called I Never Liked You. And I think that you and I should preface this by saying you and I are not fans of his. We have not been able to get into this style of rap to date. We are old heads.
Old heads.
Yes, we know that. We don't, but we don't like to think of ourselves as stubborn or ignorant. So I went into this with as much of an open mind as you possibly can, and I still came out with more questions than answers, honestly. But before even hitting play, I was impressed by the album presentation. I thought the title and artwork were great. The track list wasn't 20 songs long, and it didn't look like it leaned too heavily on features. All of those were good indications. And for the first 3 songs, I was kind of in the middle. I was like, I don't really know how to feel about this. I'm not loving it, but I'm not hating it as much as I thought I would. And then track 4 comes in, which I'll let you go in depth on in a second. For that, easily the worst song on the album and one of the worst songs I've heard this decade so far. Ironically, up there with another song Future is on called Way Too Sexy from Drake's last album.
You mean my favorite song from Drake's last album?
Your favorite song from Drake's last album. God damn it, I hate you so much. So at that point, I was worried about what I'd committed myself to in agreeing to review this album. But Brandon, a miracle happened. You want to know what it is?
Please tell me.
I liked a Future song. Huffin' on Zooties is as close as I'm ever going to get to understanding this fan base. The style still isn't my preference, but it's actually him rapping in a way that I can fuck with. Like the production on it's good. It's a really good Feeling Myself track. I listened to it a few times today to make sure it wasn't just like a recency bias. And I was like, nah, this one kind of hits. But after that, the fucking magic wore off completely for me. Wait For You's okay, but I like that more for Drake and Thames than Future, so I don't really count that as like a win for him. I was surprised I found myself even liking one song, to be honest, but I wouldn't listen to this again. I gave it a 4 out of 10 because I thought that there was work put into it, but I didn't like it as much as I liked it. So I had to go there, and obviously Puffin' on Zooties was my standout because it was the only song I fucking liked. How did you feel, man?
So I think it was Hobson that said, Was it Hobson? It might have been something else.
Are we going to
Someone
quote
else.
Hobson? Do we need a lawyer for this? Right
Do we need a lawyer? Is this thing on? All right. So let me say, the beats do all the work on this album, and the production is top notch. You cannot deny that. On basically every song, the production is like, damn, all right, this is a good beat.
Yeah.
That's about it, man. 7:12 p.m. is like a great album opener for like this super hype album. Let me ask you something, Mr. John. When was the last time you took a dab?
A dab. Oh, shit. Years ago, man.
Years
Honestly,
ago.
years
Probably
ago.
with me,
I
right?
have tons of samples if you want. But no, I don't.
Like
I don't dab.
I'm good,
Yes,
bro. I threw my blowtorch away. Like,
yeah, most likely with you years ago, to be honest.
that's why we don't like this music.
That makes perfect sense.
I'm super convinced, man. This music is for people who dab, and that is awesome. Like if anybody's listening to this takes dabs like on the daily, like 3 or 4 dabs, fucking awesome, bro. That would obliterate me, but I respect it. I can't get into this. Like you, I went into this with as much of an open mind as I possibly could. I will say that I'm pretty sure that this album cover, he did a photo shoot with GQ, and I'm pretty sure that this is one of the photos that the photographer didn't use for the magazine.
I'm not mad at that.
So I don't think he like went out and was like, let's shoot this album cover. I think he was like, let me just use some shit that didn't get used.
I think it's a sick album cover. I'm not going to hate on the album cover.
A, super sick, and B, almost indicative of the rest of the lyrical content of this album.
Corners were cut.
So, look, man, For a Nut is...
It's horrible, man.
It's hilarious, John. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing. There's no musical substance to this music besides how banging these beats are. And these beats, this kind of trap beat kind of style of rapping is going to go down in history as this kind of era in rap where people were like, wait a second, I liked this in the future. I really genuinely believe that.
It's going to be to rap what Attack Attack was to scene music.
Yeah, abso-fucking-lutely, man. It's going to be like, wait a second. Really? No. You know, like...
So what did you give this? I'm curious.
I gave it a 3, man. 7:12
okay, so we're about the same.
7:12 p.m. is my favorite. It's none of these points
You know why
matter.
7:12 p.m. is your favorite?
Why?
Because he uses the same sample in it the Big Boy used in Kill Jill featuring Killer Mike like 3 years ago.
No fucking way. Is that why it was so reminiscent?
Yes, that is exactly why that sounded familiar the second you hit play on it.
Because
somebody had already used that sample.
I can't, dude.
So yeah, your favorite thing on it is kind of a repeated thing.
Great.
Yeah,
that's the perfect way to end this review.
You know what I think you and I can both agree on?
What?
It's better than Machine Gun Kelly's last album.
I'm telling you, bro, one day I'm going to get you to listen to Tickets to My Downfall, and you're going to be like, wait a second. But you're right. This last album was awful.
Yeah, we'll talk about that day when it comes. You want to talk about what we have coming up next week?
You know what, man? We have some interesting music coming up next week. We have Silverstein is going to release Misery Made Me, which I think is fucking awesome. We have let me see here. What else do we got here on the release
Your
calendar?
Arcade Fire.
We've got Arcade Fire coming up with We. We've got LMI with Heart on My Sleeve. We've got Rolling Blackouts Coastal Fever releasing an album. We've got Alice in Wonderland releasing Loner. And we've also got Warpaint releasing Radiate Like This.
We have another one I'm going to throw on there because Jack Harlow's debut album drops as well. And the track list is pretty interesting. So I think we should review that one too.
Okay, I think so too. I think we've got a very interesting week coming up. And,
whole month, really.
Yeah, a very interesting month for sure. And I'm excited to get into all of it with you. And I'm very excited for that Silverstein album. I don't know if you knew this, but I really enjoy that band.
I do know that. I'm really excited for that LMA album. Mark my words, that is going to be my favorite R&B album since the Snow Allegra one last year.
Maybe
Promise
it won't.
you. No, she does not miss. She does not miss. But dude, yeah, This was a more spirited conversation than I was expecting for the playlist we had this week, but it feels like we're in the eye of the hurricane right now, because after this we got Black Keys, Florence and the Machine, Kendrick fucking Lamar, which I
Kendrick
don't know if you
fucking
heard.
Lamar.
This is possibly a double album.
That's what I keep hearing, but it's really all just conjecture.
Yeah,
bro.
he has this very cryptic website, and he uploaded a picture to it, and it's like him holding a book with the name of the album on it, and then two CDs. One says Morale and one says Big Steppers, and they both say Master Mix. And somebody on Twitter was like, "This motherfucker wrote a whole book before he made the album."
Honestly, if we're gonna have to wait another 5 years, give me 24 songs, Kendrick.
Isn't all early Coheed based on like science fiction that he written?
All early Coheed is based on, in fact, even all current Coheed in the next album we're going to get is based on a graphic novel written by Claudio Sanchez. So,
Are we gonna bring your brother-in-law in to review the new Coheed album with us?
honestly, I'm going to ask him.
You should, man.
I'm going to
down.
ask him. His album, his EP is actually currently getting mixed, and we are definitely going to review that when it comes out.
Can't fucking wait, man. Well, I had a great time talking to you this week. I am fucking buzzing about the rest of the weeks we have ahead. Can't wait. Please tune in, everybody. You got anything else you want to say, Brandon?
That's it, my boy.
All right, everyone. See you next time. Peace.
Peace.